Hi, my name's Melissa. Welcome to my channel, Quilting by Heart. So, this is a new endeavor that I am trying to get started. I have a love of quilting, and I just want to share. I think the quilting community is a very, very fun community to be in. And I enjoy what other people are doing. I enjoy seeing what they're doing, the projects that they're working on, sharing tips and tricks and ideas. So that's why I'm here today. And like I said, my name is Melissa, and welcome to my channel. And I would appreciate it if you like this video, if you would take the time to subscribe to my channel, maybe tell somebody about it, some of your quilting buds. If you could leave me a comment, tell me where you're watching me from and what you're doing in your quilting room today. So, let's just jump right in. So, I just wanted to really just come on and introduce myself and just tell you a little bit about me. I would consider myself an experienced beginner quilter. I've been quilting on and off since about 2018, 2019, right before the earth-shattering event that we all know about. Along about that time, I started my quilting journey. And I have always loved quilts. I've just always been drawn to anything handcrafted, anything, that's old-timey, or anything that's, growing up, I loved the Little House on the Prairie books, and they would talk about making the patchwork quilts and stuff like that. And I loved country decorating even back in the 80s and the 90s. When I was a young girl, I just loved it. And I've never lost my love for the handmade. And quilts is just one of those things. The older, the better. The uglier, the better. My aesthetic is very traditional. I like traditional colors, traditional patterns. I tend to make larger block quilts because I don't have a lot of time for intricate piecing. I don't like to follow patterns. So that's why I'm calling this channel Quilting by Heart, because that's kind of how I quilt. I mean, you hand me a quilt pattern, I'm just about like you have handed me, I don't know, a physics textbook, just about it. Maybe not quite that bad, but I don't follow patterns very often. I did receive a pattern the other day in a sew sampler box from Fat Quarter Shop. I did get sew sampler, and I did receive their latest pattern, and I was very intrigued by it. I'll be honest with you, and I think I'm gonna try it. I think I'm gonna try that pattern. It seems to be written in a way that I can understand. Some quilting patterns, I just can't make heads or tails of them. And right on the other hand, I'm more of a freestyle quilter, I guess you could say. In that I don't like to make somebody else's quilt. I want to make my own quilt. You know, I'm kind of like Karen Brown. I want to make the quilt that I want to make. I do enjoy, like Kimberly Jolly, Lori Holt. I enjoy looking at their channels. They are just awesome, creative, wonderful quilters, and they just do everything so perfectly. That is not me. That is not me. I am a very economical quilter. I use cheap fabric. I'm not a fabric snob because I can't afford to be. I use bed sheets on the back of my quilts. I don't have a long arm. I do have a Juki that is on a Q-Zone Queen frame. I do quilt like that because it got to the point where I knew that quilting was something that I wanted to do, and I just got to the point where free motion quilting just wasn't an option, because if you've ever free motion quilted a queen size quilt or a full size quilt, even a large lap size quilt on a domestic machine, you can understand when I say I was thankful to even get my frame with the carriage that I could put a mid-arm domestic into, that I could quilt on. So anyways, I'm going to be sharing some of my quilt projects and some of the works that I have in progress. I keep a bunch of things in progress. I don't know, there are different camps for quilters. There are some people that begin a project and never go to another one. until they finish that one. I'm not like that. I get bored with one thing if I'm doing something repetitively. Now, I can set my mind to it and get a quilt done pretty good. I can make a small quilt in a day's time if I really set my mind to it. And the pattern, like I said, I don't do really hard patterns. So, yeah. I wanted to share a couple of my quilt finishes with you and just let you see. And I'm sure I won't get this in the frame, but a long time ago, when I first started quilting, this would be the first sampler that I ever made. And there is a lady that was called My Sewing Channel, or the Sewing Channel. Her name is Jan, and she's from Arizona. I think she's from Arizona, and I believe her name was Jan. She's a blonde-headed lady. She's still on YouTube, and she has awesome content. And I followed along with her, and I made my first sampler. Oh, I pieced this probably in about 2019, and I just got it quilted the other day. I just got it quilted and bound the other day, so I'm going to try to back up a little bit more if I can let y'all see. And you can't see it all in the frame, but it was just some simple blocks, and all of this was done with Walmart fabric. I don't know if you could see it. The blocks were interesting, I thought. And I thought it turned out rather well. I was surprised. This is one of my beginner efforts, and I was really surprised when I got it quilted up the other day just how cute that turned out. After all these years, it was an oldie but goodie that I could pull out and quilt up. And I got that done. I finished a bear paw yesterday that I put on my queen size bed. Whew, that was a job, loading it onto this Q-Zone Queen. It barely fit. It barely fit, and that's what made it so hard. Is it was such a long quilt. I don't know if my little quilt frame, my 8-foot quilt frame, it was about too much for it. But I did get it done, and wouldn't you know, right in the middle there is a crooked bear paw. So if I put a quilt label on it, I think I'm going to put Crooked Bear Paw. I'm going to name it that. It's my unique design. Okay, so yeah. What are y'all quilting? I mean, what are y'all doing now? I like a little project. I also like to do a little project sometimes because I won't say that I'm busy all the time. My kids are grown, but they still live at home with me. My 2 sons do. My daughter lives out on her own, but I have 2 older children that still live in the house with me. They're boys, and they work construction, so I'm still mamaing. I'm still mamaing them. I got laundry going right now, and it's, Mama, what's for supper? So my time is not always my own all the time, but sometimes I like to run in and do something really quick. And I'm going to show y'all these I've been making table runners, and I've been having a lot of fun with table runners. So, I think that a table runner is something that you can just make, and you can give them as gifts. You could hang these on a wall. You could use these as wall art if you wanted to. So this was some fabric. This is the back of it that I got at southernfabric.com. I think it's Ginger Bear, something like that was the name of it. So this is proof that I do use quilt shop fabric, even though the backing is from Hobby Lobby. So I made this little quilt table runner recently. Now this was some old blocks that I made when I first started quilting. I had these Friendship Star blocks made up, and I didn't have enough for a whole bed-size quilt or do, you know, anything like that. So I run them up the other day. I made them into a table runner. I got them out and made them into a table runner. And I think that really turned out cute. And now this was, and the backing is just a muslin. And you can tell that I'm still learning. I'm still very much learning how to quilt, do the actual quilting on my frame with my machine. I just recently started using it. I had had it for almost 2 years, and it's just, I don't know, there's a learning curve. There is a learning curve to free motion quilting. There is a learning curve even to hand-guided quilting on a frame. So I'm still very much learning, and at this point I'm just getting my quilts quilted. And you'll find, you'll figure it out if you ever get into frame quilting, you know, with a machine on a carriage. Once you get it quilted and you get the quilt washed, unless you've used a very dark thread, you're not really going to see the quilting that much. And it kind of blends together, and your mistakes, that you'd really have to be looking and know what you're looking at to even see your mistakes anymore. This one right here is my design. How about that? It's Christmas trees. Some are going up, some are going down. That way it can be of interest from both sides of the table. And this fabric was the Bee Plaids from Lori Holt. This is a charm pack that was sent to me. I believe this come in a So Simpler box. And I just whipped up this little table runner. And I finally got it quilted. I had it, actually, I had made the table runner. And I wound up using it before it was ever quilted at a church function. And it got food on it. So I had to wash it and put it away, and I drug it out the other day and went ahead and quilted it and bound it before it got ruined while it was clean. I went ahead and did that. This one is so cute. I thought this turned out so cute. And this is just like 4 patches. This is just 4 patches. And I got these from Fat Quarter Shop. Or either Southern Fabric. I don't know. This is a Walmart fabric that I got for $1 a yard some time back. And I thought it just was perfect for this little bright cherry quilt. I thought that I would have never thought that $1 a yard fabric would have ever been that cute. But it was just perfect for that little quilt for the backing. And I'll show you one more. Isn't this cute? This is the pattern called Petal Breeze from Moonkin Stitchery. It's her name. And if you could ever check her out online, she has awesome stuff. And it's projects that you can create a quilt top in about a day's time. So this is I would say this is a generous lap quilt. This is a generous lap quilt. And the fabric is the Pride and Prejudice line. And I purchased this on sale from southernfabric.com. I think it was like $21 for the layer cake, which is a really good deal if you know how much layer cakes generally cost. And this is the Petal Breeze. The Petal Breeze pattern from Moonkin Stitchery. If you've never checked her out, check her out. I could watch her all day. I could just be mesmerized. And for my backing, this is a Walmart fabric. It was called Mansfield, so I thought that was kind of fitting, because if you're a Jane Austen fan, you know that Mansfield Park was one of her books. But anyways, this was called Mansfield, and I think that it just popped on this quilt. The fabric to me has the same, you know, that same vintagey feel. I even like the brown binding. I chose just to put a plain brown. Look at my awesome binding. I would pick the place where I put it together. The plain brown binding. And I think it just turned out so fun. That was just a very fun make. Just a very fun make. Oh, here's one more. So I've been really busy in my quilting room here lately. This is a cute table runner that I machine quilted and just put together. I had these blocks and never finished. Ooh, you know there's a lot of lint in this cotton bag. And these haven't been washed, so they tickle my nose. And I just made this up. I can't remember the pattern for this, but this is just Walmart fabric on the back. It's just the words from Waverly, just like newsprint words or something. But I just run that little table runner up. You know, you can make table runners out of, if you have quilt projects that are, you know, you didn't have a lot of fabric and you just made a few blocks, or maybe you were testing blocks, or you just never went back and finished. Don't let those quilt blocks go to waste. You can make table runners. You know, you can add some negative space to it. You know, just add some squares of plain fabric. That's what I did here. I mean, I just added to it with just some fabric to these blocks, and it just made the cutest little table runner. I'm actually going to give that to my cousin, I think. So yeah, I love quilting. It's just so much fun. It's just so much fun. It's very addictive. If you ever get into it, it's just really addictive. And if you will look at my house today, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. I need to be doing laundry. I need to be cleaning house. But what do I want to do? I want to quilt. I don't want to do laundry. I don't want to clean house. I just want to quilt. But anyways, I just wanted to pop on here. I just wanted to share with y'all what's going on. Like I said, what are you working on in your quilting space? I have just done a clean out of my quilt room not long ago, and I have got it up and running again. I'm sitting on this side of the room. This is not my quilting space. Actually, where I quilt is over behind the camera, but because of the lighting, I'm sitting over here at my second machine. It's just a little Singer machine that I've got sitting here because it zigzags, and I want to make some frankenbatten because I've got lots of batten scraps. Does anybody make frankenbatten? Have you got any tips or tricks or any hints? Because I'm getting where I've got a lot of batten scraps, and if you know about quilting supplies, they are not cheap. So if you got any tips or hints, tricks about getting the frankenbatten together, if you've ever made that and know what I'm talking about, let me know down in the comments what I need to know. So I'm going to hop off here because I got lots to do today. But this has been Melissa here at Quilting by Heart. Like I said, if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up. You can subscribe, maybe share with somebody that quilts if you've got another quilter in your life. Or, you know, just somebody you could just tell them about this woman that you saw on YouTube the other day with these big bug-eyed red glasses that was showing all these crazy quilts. Until next time, though, you have a great day. Bye, y'all.